Hello, welcome to episode 16 of the Equine Business Podcast. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about being organised and what you need to do if you feel that you're a little bit of a disorganised procrastinator, because this is something I know only too well. And I wanted to hopefully shift that a little bit for you today in this episode and help you to bridge that gap so that you can actually stop feeling like you're disorganized, stop feeling like you procrastinate, and start to get your life and your business in a better shape so that you can actually move forward and achieve your goals. So are you ready? Let's get started.
Welcome to the Equine Business Assistant Podcast, helping you build a better business to live life on your terms. With your host, Jenny Bush.
So welcome to the show, and as always, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, please do hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any episodes or anything, and do leave me a review because I absolutely love to read them, and it also helps me to get found by other business owners just like you. So I'd really also like it if you could share any questions or any ideas for anything that you'd like me to cover in any of these podcast episodes, because if I know, I can make sure that we've got content coming out that really will serve you. So all you have to do is email me, jenny@theequinebusinessassistant.co.uk, and I will get that sorted for you. So let's get on with the episode. So what is it that's making you feel that you are not very organised and you are struggling and you're procrastinating a little bit? And there are three main reasons that you probably are struggling. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about those today. So why are you disorganised? That is the main question. Or why do you even feel disorganised? Because when you're disorganised, you feel like your life is an absolute mess. You just don't know how to get it in order. And there are three reasons for that. One, it's probably, and this is probably the most common, it's down to skill. The same with everything in life. You have to learn stuff. And I think sometimes we're not always brought up to learn how to organise certain things. And especially if you, like me, you're an entrepreneur, nobody teaches you how to run your business. Your business is your business. And unless you've come from a really good business already that you're modeling, which is quite unlikely, you haven't been taught how to get that in a system that is actually organised. And sometimes, even if you have learned a system that is organised, you've got to try and make that work for you. And that's not always easy. So it could be just going back and looking at the actual skills that you need to create a better organisation for you. So it could be looking at your 6 Ps that I call them in my coaching sessions. I often talk about the preparation and the planning, the personal development, the product development, the pricing, the finances, the processes, the promotion, all these things that come into your business to make it up as a whole. Where is the skill that you need and how can you learn it? And sometimes you know the answers, you know them already, but you just need some help to pull them out and put them in the right order. And that is perfectly normal because we can't always get out of our own heads. So is it the skill that's causing you to feel like you're procrastinating and you're disorganized? So the second reason that you could be struggling is down to your own beliefs, right? Now, if you don't believe you are organised, and if you don't believe that you are actually good at achieving things, you're not going to do it. Does that make sense? You're not going to be organised if your belief deep down in your subconscious, you tell yourself you're disorganised and you're not able to do these things. And this is something that I had. I used to constantly tell myself that I wasn't organised and I didn't know how to do it, and that then made sure that I was disorganised. So how do you get over that when you're in that sort of situation? So you need to start off again by looking at why you believe what you believe and gathering that evidence that proves that that's not actually true. Yeah, and start asking yourself, is that true? Am I genuinely disorganized? And one of the reasons that I built up this belief was I often would find that the things that I planned did not go to plan. And that is totally normal. Do you know, that is just absolutely 100% normal. Things do not go to plan. But then I'd see that as evidence that I wasn't any good, that my plans didn't happen, that I wasn't any good, and I wasn't organised, and I wasn't good at being planning, when actually the truth was I did plan. It didn't go to plan. I just needed to plan a little bit better. And actually some things did go to plan and some things did happen, but I didn't see those for what they were. So it's kind of being aware that actually, is it a belief that's causing you to do this, and how can we overturn those beliefs? And the third reason, is it's you don't actually value being organised, right? And if you don't see the value in being organised, and it's not one of your values to actually be able to put things in the right order and to make it happen, again, you're not going to make it happen. So this all comes back down to sort of some basic principles. And once you can get over these, whether it's your skill that needs improving, your belief that needs upgrading, or your values that need upgrading, it's going to really, really help you to become more organised. So if you struggle because it's your skill, if you're struggling that it's the skill that you need to help you to be a better organizer, right? What do you need to learn first? What do you need to do first? And sometimes this is where advice is often the worst advice that you can have, because sometimes, like I felt that I was not good at organising and everything else, and so I learned lots of different things, and then I had so much information that actually I found it really hard to put it into action. So what is the first and the simplest thing that you can master now? Now for me, that was just getting like a basic weekly schedule together, and on this weekly schedule I made sure that I got time for doing client work. I got time for doing my work on my business, for doing like my content batching, for doing my admin, for doing my accounts, for doing my emails, for doing what I call my CEO report, which is where I go through and I review stuff, and making sure that I've actually planned out time for me. So just by having that simple schedule, very simple schedule, like I know that I fit a client in there, I know I fit a client in there, and then I put clients in those boxes. I know that I work on my content here, and I know that I do. That made a massive difference to start off feeling like I was more organised. Sometimes we put so much stuff in the mix that it's too much to grasp at once. You can only learn one step at a time. So choose one. Choose the simplest thing, work on that now. So is it a simpler tool that you need? Do you need something like my life planner that's just going to help you to put it all into one place, going to block out your time, going to block out what you need to do each day and help you to stay on track? Could it be something like things to stop you getting distracted, right? Turning off your notifications. Do one little thing, choose one little thing, master that, then choose the next one. You can write them all down if that helps. You can sit and have a brainstorm and then choose one off each week to get better at. But make sure that you're actually doing that. So that is if it's a skill thing that you're struggling. If you feel that you're not staying on track because of your beliefs, as I said earlier, it's about gaining some evidence and asking yourself, is it true or not true? Because that little voice inside your head, that little subconscious voice, sometimes is very good at lying. It will tell you a lot of lies. And if it's sitting there going, you can't organise, you're no good, you can't organise, you need to find something to help you to secure that belief. So that could be actually, looking for evidence of things that you have organised, things that you have planned, areas of your life that are organised. Because again, it's about your choice. And do you choose to be organised in some areas of your life and not on others? And seeing those and start to get the evidence, because that's going to help you to secure that belief that actually you can do this and you can be more organised and you are getting better and better every day. So then if it's about your values and you're not seeing, and you don't actually value being organised at all, it's about how can you actually attach that to something that you do value, so that you can really see the benefit. So if you value, for example, if you value money, right, and getting organised in your marketing is going to help you to earn more money, you're going to start to do that, because you value it. If you don't value money, that's not going to work. Or if you value like time with your family is a big value. Again, you can be saying to yourself, right, I value time with my family. If I can get more organised, that means I can work less. That means I get to spend more time with my family. So try to get thinking of what's going to make a difference and why it's going to make a difference, and then you're going to bring that in. So once you've looked at these and you've actually started to uncover, is it skill, belief, or value, you can then start to put some stuff in place to help you to be more organised. So the first thing is always to find a system. So what system is going to work for you? Is it, do you need to put it into like a diary planner? So mine, I will pop the link in the notes below. But yeah, I've got a diary planner that helps me to plan out my year, plan out my quarters, plan out my months, and then go through week by week by week by week, so I can actually stay on track with my goals. So it could be something as simple as that. It could be a spreadsheet that you need, would work as a system. It could be just a note system in your phone or on your computer that's going to help you to stay on track better. It could be using your calendar on like a Google Calendar, your digital calendar, and putting those things in the right place. It could be just like I've got a basic weekly plan, which is just blocks for like as a time schedule, because then I used to see like the whole day and see all those like little half hours like in a normal planner and go, oh, I'm going to squish something into every single line, and then find that at the end of the day I felt like I didn't go to plan. So work a system that's going to work for you. So there's more help on my website, on my blog, and listen to some more podcasts. You might find some more systems in there that will help you with that. So find a planner or a system that works for you. It could be using Asana, it could be using Dubsado, whatever it is, it will help you to feel more organised. And it could be just having a notebook and doing a bullet journal. So something that's going to help you to stay on track. Find that system. Make sure it's simple. Make it like the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't overcomplicate it, because as soon as you feel that you overcomplicate it, again, you let yourself down. Then you start to believe you're not good enough and you can't organise. So then that brings me on to my second point, is to plan for it not going to plan. And this is where I always struggled and where my belief that I wasn't really good at planning came from. Because things don't always go to plan. There are always going to be things that push out what you wanted to do at that time. But be aware of that. Be aware of where those things that come in and knock you off track are, and plan for those. So if, for example, you find that you come in the morning, you check your email, and all of a sudden you've got 100 things to do that weren't on your list, and then you don't get your stuff done. And I talk more about this in next week's podcast. But actually think about putting them in later. So don't check those things. And be aware that if it doesn't go to plan, it's not that you failed, because so I would often feel that I failed and I just couldn't get it right, and then I didn't want to do it and I wasn't any good. And failure doesn't exist. Failure is just feedback. Okay, so if you are getting feedback that actually you put too much stuff in and you couldn't do it, that's telling you to take some stuff out and be less hard on yourself. Plan for things taking longer. Take time to stop and review. Add those extra blocks in for when things do overrun, and be kinder to yourself. Plan for it not going to plan. And then my final point of this exercise is, once you actually get that system going, you're going to have to make it a little bit non-negotiable. You're going to have to block that in, and you're going to have to make sure that you give yourself time to do this. And it's going to take longer to start off with. And it always does. When you're learning new stuff, it takes a long time, and then we get quicker and quicker as we get better at it. So don't be too harsh that it's taking a long time. Like, one of the things that I've struggled to organise and I've been really working on this year is my financial planning. And I struggle with numbers. I guess if you were to test me, I would probably have one of those kind of things like dyspraxias or something where I get numbers muddled up. And so I really struggle to balance the numbers. But every day I'm getting better, and every day I go in and I plan my finances and I look and I check and I make sure that it's working. And I spent nearly 3 hours just on my spreadsheet the other day, and I got a bit cross because this took too long. Well, I spent too long. But actually, I know that the more time I take on it, the better I will get at it and the quicker I will get at it. So make sure that you give yourself that time, that you plan in that time to get better at it, and then you can start to reduce the time as you get better. So for me, I always plan in my little planning sessions and to go through what I need to do. On a Friday, I review it. I always make sure that I take time to review it, and I plan the week ahead on a Friday. And then I look again on a Sunday, and while I've had time to think, or if anything else has come up, to just go through and go, do you know, is that going to work or is that not going to work? And then when I get in on a Monday morning, I don't then have to sit and go, right, I've got to check my emails, I've got to do, what am I doing? What am I doing? I know that the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get on with my content batching, or I'm going to do following up with XYZ or whatever. And then I work through my schedule. So I work off the schedule and not off the to-do list. And that way, if anything's still on the to-do list, I don't look at it. I just look at the schedule. And work through that way. So I'll talk a little bit more about the to-do list next week. So do watch out for podcast episode 17. And I hope this has really, really helped you. So if you enjoyed this, if you like this, if you got some use or something that's gone, aha, that was an idea that I didn't think of before, please do let me know. Send me an email. It's jenny@theequinebusinessassistant.co.uk. As always, it's lovely to hear from you. Please do leave a review. And yes, I will be back next week with another episode all about planning. And if you'd like to have a little look at my 2020 planner, just check out the links below, or have a look at the equinebusinessassistant.co.uk/shop. And I look forward to seeing you in another episode. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.